So just at the stop, waiting for Dan. Camera crew, drinking and eating already. Jay's going to wee. Oh, no. John's off already. We did, John.
That only happened to you, that
That's one of them biodegradable bags.
No sweets were allowed on the street. Right. Before Dave crashes, he states that because of the challenges he's had to do in this Great Escape, that us cameramen, Johnny boy, have to do a challenge ourselves.
Look, all year the media team have laughed the pants off themselves at us doing rubbish challenges, putting anything from liquid boilie to pigs' penises in our mouths, and they've laughed their heads off filming it, enjoyed making it, so it's about time they got some payback. So on this trip we're going to do a media challenge, and James is going to be involved in that challenge as initiation. Max said he refused to do it. Refusal to do it result in Mammoth J holding you down while we tie you up, and we will feed you whatever we've done. So you may as well eat it at will. Expect a gag, expect it to be horrible. It's not like I ain't asking you to do something I haven't done myself.
Well, almost 2 years to the day, and we're back at Lake Sumbar. Last time I was here, I caught that magnificent 88 pounder. The carp in here are just as big still. There's massive commons and mirrors. We've all been really excited about this trip. I've been getting gear ready for weeks at home. Me and Dan and Jay on the way down were absolutely buzzing. We picked up a new boy for the trip, James.
I know very little about the exact stock other than I've got a very good chance of catching a PB, which is currently 45 pounds in Europe, so not particularly massive. I know that there are some very, very big carp, up to 90 or so pounds.
On the previous trip to Sumbar, it was incredible for all parties involved. Dave, of course, had the 88-pound mirror. I had fished a 59. Jay also got involved in some really nice catches to mid-50s. And that the stock in here is absolutely ridiculous. The whole time you know you're coming out here is something you're looking forward to, and I couldn't wait to get back here. There was large numbers of big fish last year, not just for our lads, but all around the lake, so it really doesn't matter what position you get in.
Last time we was here, the lake was pretty much unknown to the UK anglers. We came here because we knew it had a lot of big fish in it, but we didn't really know much. Now we do. It's doing fish every single week, and loads of big ones. Last week, prime example, done absolutely tons of them, but it didn't do any of the big ones, and it hasn't done a 70 in a couple of weeks, so that is quite rare for Sumbar.
Sumbar has become a lot more popular since our last trip, no doubt since they all saw the video. I'm expecting it to be slightly more difficult, purely down to the pressure it now gets. But there still is a massive head of big fish in here, and I'm definitely going to fish as best as I can to try and catch some of them.
Moving on from the last Great Escape where I lost the challenge, I've been put into this swim. Dave and Dan are over there in a really good area, but you know what, we're in a really good area as well, aren't we? I mean, James has come as a guest last minute, so I'm on the right hand side, James is on the left. Got a great big area out on the right, which I'm going to put a few rods on. James has got a lovely area out here where you're going to put a few rods over there, aren't you, mate? So.
Yeah, that's the plan, mate. I think, as you said, I'm going to fish one just off the bait, where you are, just off the back of that bar. It goes down nice and deep there, doesn't it?
Perfect, yeah.
Then I'm going to fish sort of two on the left-hand side. Dave Moore's actually suggested a little area towards that point, which really slopes off into real deep water. He reckons that produces big uns. and then I'm going to fish one up to the margin. So
we'd be fool not to listen to him. He's been here loads of times, he's caught loads of fish, and he's actually been fishing here for a week, and his bivvy is pretty much backing onto that bay. So he's been telling us pretty much every day that all he hears all night are fish jumping in this bay. So although James has got the left-hand side, which would have been my second choice, in fact, it's actually looking like it's going to be a banger.
At the moment, yeah, fingers crossed.
Exactly, yeah, fingers crossed, mate.
I knew there'd be a very strong chance that myself and Dave would be doubled up together, coming out first and second in the draw. We know the lake quite well. We came here 2 years ago, and you shouldn't really go to any venues with a preconceived idea. But we spoke in depth before we came. We decided to bring the same bait, go in with the same tactics in the approach. That ended our trip here last time with great success with Dave having the 88. The approach that we decided to go in with, we bought the same boilies, lots of them, from the mainline stable. We've got some particle and we've also got some pellet. Something I've decided to add into the mix this year is the addition of buckwheat. I've had great success through the series of the Great Escape. Abbey Lakes was a prime example. Changed over to some buckwheat, a few other particles, a few little ingredients, and it was clear that the fish was switched onto it. It looks like naturals. It can either look like a big bed of small mussels or lots of small snails, and it gives off a really nice crunch. And I believe the addition of that here could put some nice fish on the bank for myself and Dave. Rig-wise, what do you think, Dave?
Rig-wise, I did start out, I've got a Ronnie on one rod. I'm going to be a bit careful with the Ronnie because, as I said before, it can be a bit prone to hook pulls, and on this water, it's not the water you ought to be getting hook pulls on. But before I was using the reverse combi, and it was absolutely nailing them. Pop-ups definitely singled out the better fish, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in with that approach, and we know wafters work as well.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go with a wafter on one rod, 2 pop-ups on the other, see which is giving me the best success, and then put all 3 on.
And then what I'll probably tend to do then, I've got 2 rods out now, one on a pop-up, one on a wafter. I'll put another one on a wafter, and it means we've got the best of both worlds, 2 on each out there, and that will give us a quick determination of what's picking out the fish. The pop-ups on the trip 2 years ago definitely singled out the bigger fish, but the wafters singled out large numbers. So I think if we can devise a plan, get the baiting approach going in, build on the swim, we've got 7 days to work it together, and I think we're going to end up some good results.
With the bait thing, when you're adding things like buckwheat, it's one of them baits that keeps fish feeding in an area. Yeah. We're adding in the boilie, I've got cell and a bit of hybrid with me, and I'm going to mix them up. I'm also going to mix in the buckwheat, so I'll have boilie, they'll have the crunchy feel in there, and of course the trout pellet. Don't forget we're putting in cups of trout pellet, wouldn't we? So it really is a mixture of bait. We've got a little blend of bait in there, lots of different smells and flavours, filling up the water column, attracting them down. Now it's just a case of getting on the spots. The guys that were in here the week before us had an excellent week. They are friends of ours. They've told us the spots they were fishing, so we're not going to bang our head on the walls trying to find new spots. We're going to get back on them same areas. Dan's swim was a flyer last week, and I've got a feeling he's going to get off to a really good start.
If we can have half the week they've had, we're going to be going home 2 happy monkeys. I'll give you a little insight into the 2 rigs that I'm using here at Sumbar. I've gone in with an approach that I know works well here. When we was here 2 years ago, wafter rigs, blowback presentations, slip Ds and pop-up presentations, they were the go-to rigs. They were picking out large numbers of fish, and they're also picking out the bigger fish. My version of the D rig is a little bit different to the norm that a lot of people use. A lot of people go in with a fluorocarbon hook link. I've gone in with a soft coated. The only reason being, I am going to be dropping this out of a bait boat. There's lots of clay out there. There is some little bits of pea shingle and some hard areas. I just want it to lay over any of the contours of the lake bed really nicely. The thought process behind using the D-rig, I'm using a wafter hook bait here just to counterbalance the weight of the hook. I've got a size 4 medium curve shank on there, really sharp. It's got a little in-turned eye, which I believe having the D on there gives nice separation so the bait on the mini hook ring swivel can slide up and down. If it gets picked up and ejected, you know that it'd be sitting proud for when the next carp comes along. Using a wafter hook bait, it just counterbalances the size 4 medium curve shank really nicely. The hook will lay flat on the lake bed with the hook bait just wafting over the top. I've got this on a D style, and I like to use a little piece of silicone or a little piece of shrink tube in the 1.6mm. All that determines to me is if you use a whipping knot, the knot is secured in place. If it gets picked up and ejected and you reel your rod in, sometimes you wouldn't know that if the fish has picked up and ejected it. With this, the little bit of silicone can move back, the bait will slide down the D, and then unfortunately it has been picked up and ejected. It hasn't landed right, but you will know, and then you can get the rig back out, change the hook bait and get it back into position. That was a little insight into my wafter presentation. Let's have a little look at the pop-up rig. It's my version of the Ronnie. I call it the rotator because of a couple of new components that we've got, a new swivel and a new rotator sleeve. The rig itself, it incorporates all the great benefits from a slip D rig and also the Ronnie rig. A little insight in how I'm tying it and the components I'm using. I've got the soft section of the inner core of the 25 soft coated. This is acting as a slip D section, which you attach your mini hook ring swivel to and your chosen hook bait. That's running freely up and down the shank of a size 4 medium curve shank. I've attached it with one of our new rotator swivels through the eye of the hook. Coming down to the hook link itself, I've decided to use the rock bottom in the soft. The reason why I've opted to use the soft instead over a stiff or a fluorocarbon, the contours of the lake bed that I'm faced with, it's really soft out there, it's a little bit clay, there's some little bits of pea shingle. I know dropping it from a bait boat, it will lay and present itself over all the contours of the lake bed, and I haven't got to worry about the presentation. A nice factor again with this rig, if it does get picked up and ejected, when the carp ejects it, it will be sitting proud every time. It's just a really good rig that I've got maximum confidence in. I've had some really good fish. So that's the 2 rigs that I'm going to start with. I've got 2 rods out there now. I'm going to get the 3rd one out. If one of them starts to do the business, I will change them over. Sure to be a great week ahead. I do think I'll catch on both, but do I want numbers or do I want the bigger fish? I'm here for a lump. Well, what an incredible start here in Croatia. Really didn't expect to get off to a flyer like this. All 3 rods have gone in 25 minutes of madness. I've got a 52 mirror. I've got a maybe 30 lever. Really nice looking fish, really cool character. And unfortunately, I also lost one as well. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get some shots, some steals and a bit of footage of these ones, get the rods back out. Hopefully it won't be too long for any more turn up. But as I say, what an incredible start. And yeah, Croatia, where dreams happen. Look at him, really cool leathery character. He's got a couple of nice big scales down his tail, 33 pounds. It's the 2nd part of the double hit. Not long after getting the rods out, I've got a 52 pounder down there in the sling. So it's a great way to open the account. Let's slip this one back and check out that 50. Well, you really couldn't have asked for a better start. First bite, 52 pounds, 4 ounces. What an incredible carp. Really hard fighting. Give me a good old merry dance. Tried losing the hook down in the weed, in the margin. Blown away with this one. What an incredible start.
I've been a netsman for the last hour and a half because Dan's swim has absolutely kicked off. He's had 3 runs, literally, right rod, middle rod and left rod, one after another, up to 52 pounds, so it was a brilliant start. And we're just sorting out his rods with him, and my right hand one's gone. So hopefully they carry on going in a line and the other 2 will go, but I'm not going to be greedy. It's my first fish, I just want it in. So many big carp in here. When you're playing one, you're always nervous. And lakes always change. When we came here a few years ago, there wasn't no weed, but there's quite a bit of weed about this year. Probably putting a bit more tension on the fish than there was last time I was here 2 years ago, just to keep them above that weed and keep them moving. Go done, boy. Didn't even get rid of the lead. Lazy fish.
Right, boy, off the mark.
Cheers, mate. It's always nice to get off the mark, especially on the first day. It takes a bit of pressure off you. But yeah, it's a common. Dan's had a lever. We've had a lever, a mirror and a common in a row now, so looks around the 30 pound mark. We'll get him out, have a quick look and get him back. I've got off the mark a lovely 29 pound common. We've only been here a few hours, so I can't complain. Dan's got off to an absolute flyer. I'm gonna get this one back, get the rod back out, and hopefully there's more and much bigger to come.
Well, as you can see, I'm just getting one of the rods out now. It's got about 2-3 kilo boilie in there. Mixed sizes from 10 mil up to 22 mil. Full of oils, full of liquids. I'm fishing just at the back of a bar. Comes up to about 2 meters, 2.5 meters, and then drops into 4. And where it drops in, it's lovely and smooth. Goes down with a lovely, great big donk. and it just screams carp. I couldn't really find any other area in there that I'd want to fish. If the sun comes out, if I see fish up in the water, then I might drop it on the top of the bar, but as it stands, all 3 rods are going in the gully just behind the bar.
Well, absolutely delighted. This is my first ever Croatian carp, and hopefully there's more to come. Unfortunately, I lost the first fish that I hooked earlier, but a few hours later, the middle rod rattled off. This is the result. Fish, I don't know, mid-30s or so, I would think, and hopefully the start of a very busy night.
You won 12.
Yes, I do. Thanks, mate.
This morning! That's the result, mate.
Yeah.
It took us 3 days last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, we had the 88 on the second day.
Get the 50.
Oh yeah.
88.
Our second 50 on the first day. It's only 7 in the evening. Dan had a 52 earlier. This one's 51.14, absolute stunner. Pulled really hard. I love it. 3 big scales at the end of its tail. Solid, hard fighting mirror. Welcome back to Croatia. Yes.
That is certainly a first night I will never forget. I have had a fish every hour, on the hour. It's been like clockwork. Fished to 39 pound, haven't retained any of them. And then this morning, at first light, Dave asked if I wanted a cupper. Left rod, middle rod, right rod, triple take. This is the smallest of the 3, just under 33 pound. Hard fighting Croatian common. I've got a 48 pound common and I've got a 52 pound common. So it has been an absolute morning of madness, and it's only 8 o'clock. This could be the start of a very good week. There we go. That was the second of the triple take. An upper 40 common. Really hard fighting fish, this one. Really strong under the rod tips. And there's an even bigger one to show you. Well, that's the final part of the hat trick. 52 pound of stunning common carp. All of them come into the same baiting application, mixture of buckwheat, crumb boilie, chop boilie, whole boilie, and a couple of good helpings of pellet. I've caught in a variety of rigs now. D rigs, slip Ds, slip D Ronnies, but all having the same end result. Some really nice fish on the bank. And this is the pick of the bunch so far.
One thing I have noticed is there's a few landing nets being pushed out in the swim opposite, so it's clear that Dave and Dan have been hauling throughout the night and morning, which is fantastic. Hopefully they're going to get amongst some real big uns. I think their biggest is around 50 so far, so they're doing really well, the boys, and they've only been fishing one night, so I think it's going to be a hectic week for those boys, and hopefully we're going to get some of that luck as well. It's quite chunky. Come on, fella. That's a nice fish. Come on. Come on. Yes. Looks like a nice one, that. What a result. That's reasonable fish, isn't it, Jay? It's got to be a upper 30, 40, I think. I reckon he's 37, something like that, maybe. 37
on the nose.
That's a good guess then. A right result. Nice to get a common, because I've had mirrors so far and I feel like that spot is absolutely rocking now. So I need to get it back, get the rod back out, go and scoop some bait over the area once again, and hopefully an even bigger one will be next. So this is my baiting procedure for the little marginal spot over there that's so far done me 4 fish. First things first, what I do is I like to wander around there, and I'm actually using a bait scoop to feed the bait all along the margins, which is the complete opposite really to pretty much what everyone's doing on the lake, which is dropping boat loads really tight in an area. And I don't know, I just fancied doing something different. I wanted the carp to work a bit harder for their food. There are carp in the area, so I'm literally spreading it up and down the margins, and the tactic seems to be working. So the other reason I'm doing it as well is a couple of close friends that have been here before said that making a bit of a disturbance with bait can actually attract fish to the area. So that's part of the reason I'm doing it as well, and it seems to be working, as that rod's done pretty much 90% of my bites. So yeah, that's the plan. Feed the area, then get the boat out, drop it, and hopefully I'll get another bite.
Okay, so I've changed spots this morning, gone slightly longer, not much more, just where the fish were showing really, and I've had 2 bites so far. First one unfortunately come off and it felt an absolute monster. I was gutted. Hopefully I'll get this one in, but they put up such a good account for themselves in here. You really don't know what you've got on until it's in the net. It's funny with carp sometimes, the harder you pull them, the harder they pull back. So sometimes you're better off just taking it nice and easy, guiding the fish in, keep a decent bend in the rod, and just don't go mad on them. You ain't got to pull their heads off, especially these big ones, they ain't going to let you do it. Really pale fish, looks like a ghostie. Just going to keep her coming, looks a good fish. Like I said, don't rush it. This is the point where you want to be taking it very easy. Yes. Oh! Yeah, look, just concentrate them. Crazy fish. I'm glad that weren't the shallow nets we've been using.
We've gone down the net twice.
Well, my heart was going there, Dan just got the fish in the net and it absolutely tail walked out of it.
It's a ghosty, mate.
Well done, mate.
Nice one, mate.
Well, check out the barbs on this ghost carp. Big, long, lean fish, 35 pounds, scrap like mad, but found a spot now, seem to be getting a few regular bites off, so hopefully the bigger fish are to come. But for now, I'm very pleased with this one.
We're now 24 hours in, we've landed 17 fish with 3 50-pounders, so it's an incredible start. We've actually run out of all the bait mix that we started with. I'll talk you through the second bucket and how we're applying it to the lake. What I've got here is a really nice mix, all one flavour. I've got 18mm cell, there's chopped 18s, there's 10mm, there's also crumb. What we're trying to achieve is we're trying to create a bed. We want the fish to come in, not just graze, drift off, picking up single hook baits. We want them to come in and feed and feel confident. There's lots of different food items there, different sizes, different shapes, all releasing different levels of attraction. What we have been doing as well is soaking all this in hemp oil, or one of the liquid attractors in the Smart Liquid range. The cell goes hand in hand with this one. Adding hemp oil to the mix really does give you a new dimension to your bait. It puts a nice oily coating around the boilies, but it will also give you indication that the fish are feeding in the area. If you see a slick come above where your rod's positioned, you know the fish are feeding, and hopefully it won't be too long before you get a bite. Pellets is another great thing for creating a slick out there. When the fish come in, fish really love pellets. Most of the lakes out here in Eastern Europe, they're fed on pellet, they're fed on maize. It's a natural food source. They come in, they kick up the bottom, crunching the pellets, which will release oils to the surface, giving you a great indication that there's fish in the area.
It's gone absolutely mental the last hour. Jay and I, this is the fourth bite, I think. Yeah, and around the last hour, it's gone a bit potty. Jay's got an absolute chunk in the net that looks best part of 50 pound or more, I would say. I've got a lovely common, which could be 40 odd, and this one's just ramped off. Although this one's scrapping. Oh no, it's a good one. Go on, go on. Oh mate, that's a lovely fish. That's a lovely looking one. Yes!
There you go, mate.
Right, what's that on?
Oh,
46.
£8.
48.
2 ounces.
Yeah, boy. Thank you, mate. Right.
Well,
Better get the pics done, haven't we? And then get and have a look at yours.
let's do it.
Well, how about that? Finally got a chunk. This one went 48.2 and is my biggest of the trip so far, and I am delighted with that because we're only on day 2. All of a sudden Jay and I are getting in some fish now. He's got an absolute whacker in the net as well, and I can't wait to see what he's got. Better get the rods back out because they're having it. You never know, there might be a larger one to come. Go on, Jay.
What we got?
64 exactly. Yes! Go on, my son. That'll do. Well done, mate. Brilliant.
Well, that's a Croatian PB.
Is it?
Yep.
Good form. Well done.
Another 60. Bites of dust.
Well done, mate.
Yes.
Look at that.
Look at that. I am so happy with this one. Seems to be that everyone was catching around me and I was doubting myself a little bit, doubting the spot, doubting the bait, doubting the rigs. I think everyone goes through that at some point, but I'm only 24 hours in and changed the spot slightly and I changed my rig slightly, and I put this one out within 5 minutes of it going out. A nice slow lift on the bobbin, then a little drop back where it dropped the lead, come up to the surface, and then I had this one. Done me in the snags down the edge, but it held strong and come in, and at 64 pound, I could not be any happier. 64 pound of Croatian common carp. And I've been to Croatia a few times now, and this is actually my new PB for out here. So, over the moon, absolutely buzzing.
That's the second part of a rather large brace. Jay has just had an absolute monster, and this is the second or third fish, I can't even remember, of the last hour or so. The rods are in a right old pickle. We need to get them all back out, and hopefully the chunk will come tonight. Oh my God. Just kill my back, man. Just kill me. Just kill me.
Oh my God. No way. Please don't kick out. Oh my life. Oh my God, mate. Oh my God, mate. I think 62. I think 62. 63.12. Check that out. What an absolutely stunning creature. 63.12 of incredible grass carp. When we heard there was big ones in the venue, me and Dave both said that we wouldn't mind a 60, and I've gone and had it. What a lovely fish. Whew, absolute unit. Our first full day is coming to a close. It's our second night here, and just getting in the bag, and the middle rod's gone away again. That's the banker spot. It's done me lots of bites today, and this 40-pound lever is the latest victim. The Slip D Ronnie, or I like to call it the Slip D rotator rig, has done the business once again, and this fine culprit was on the end. I was just zipping up the retainer to release the 40-pound lever, and the left-hand rod in open water has absolutely ripped into meltdown. Me and Dave, we call it double D for double drop-ins for Dan and Dave. 2 rigs out at once. The rigs are right next to each other. Dave's is on the left, mine is on the right, at 110 metres, right out in the open water, just down at the back of a shelf, and this one's away. We really have been working as a pair. As I said, we're only on our second evening, just finished our first full day. We're fishing this like a match, me and Dave. We're now on 20 fish. When one's playing a fish, the other one's getting ready to net. When someone's doing a mix, the other one's getting the bait boat and the GPS ready for the next rod to go out. And if we keep working in tandem, as working as a team like this, it's going to be really productive for the next 6 nights. Another one's just boshed in the distance. I was just slipping back the lever, left hand rod's ticked away. This dumpy little football common decided to pick up the IB hook bait. Give me a right old merry dance, this one, under the last remaining rod, down in the reeds to the right. But those size 4 curves did the job, stayed in through the duration of the fight, and yeah, this is the culprit.
I think Dave and Dan have had a busy night. I've seen the lights on, certainly seen a few fish over that side being caught. I've seen a few boats go out this morning, so hopefully everyone around the lake's had a few fish. That's what we're here for. It's always good to see everyone catching. That's what these holiday venues are about. Everyone goes home with a big smile on their face. Hopefully with a PB as well. Well, there you go. Second part of a lovely little brace this morning. This is what people are catching out of here. I've noticed around the lake, when they're catching the stockies, they look like this, really, really clean, roughly between 30 and 40 pound. This one went 36, stunning carp, mad lateral line. James has just hit into another one, so you never know, today could be a carnage. Yesterday was busy, let's hope today is. We've obviously got the spots rocking, and let's get the rods back out, see if we can catch a few more.
Well, while I'm weighing one, Dan's playing one. I'm going to get this out, get it put in the sling, and then net that for Dan. Working like the dream team here.
Rod's just rattled off. It's about 9-ish, I think, Jay, in it, something like that now. And yeah, hopefully this is a sign of things to come.
Well, what a lovely way to wake up, a 42 pound common. I was getting a bit smashed by the grasses in the night, had a big one, 53 pounds. Lost a fish this morning, had this 42. I saw the lights on across the pond last night, so James and Jay were definitely into fish, and I think Jay's into another one now. It's all coming together. Dan had another busy night, so we're on the hunt for a monster now. But I tell you what, I'm happy to catch these all day long.
.45.5.
Nice.
Good form, mate. Well done.
Lovely.
That'll do. Nice, mate.
Happy days.
Very good.
I love this fish. So when I hooked it this morning, it rattled off, gave me an epic battle, really, really hard fighting. And if I'd have lost it, I would have said it was a 70 or 80 pounder. Really did pull my arm off, slow, plodding the whole way through. Didn't give me too much aggro, went under one of my rods and nit one per one, but you know what? It was well worth it, because look at this one. This could be anywhere in the world, even in the UK. It's an absolute stunner. And at just over 45 pound, a real, real beautiful fish. Made up with this one, I really, really am. I love it. Sometimes you get a carp that you just fall in love with, and this one's a bit of me.
This is the first fish this morning after a very, very quiet night. Both Jay and I were actually both just talking about recasting or repositioning the rods, and we were in a bit of a discussion as to whether we thought the fish had moved in or not. But both of us agreed that would probably receive liners, etc. if they had done, and so we decided to leave it be, and it rattled off. So the plan worked. hopefully this is a sign of things to come today. We're going to catch a few more.
But there you go, a lovely 36-pound common for me. A mirror, 40 pounds and ounces for Dave. It went a little bit quiet, so we topped up the area with some more bait, bit in a mix, the pellet, the broken boilie, the chops, and it didn't take long to get a bite. Really hard to tell what you're attached to in Sumbar. There's quite a lot of mid to upper 30 mirrors, some bionic levers that really pull your arms off, giving you the fight of your life. Knee knocking time, you think that if you lost it, you lost one of the biggest fish in the lake. You get it in, it's a 35-pound lever. And then the commons on the other hand, they really scrap. They get themselves down in the deep margins, bury down into the weed, and they really do all they can to try and eject the rig. So it's a mixed bag on the fights. Everyone's nervous times when there's fish to over 90 pounds in the lake. You just got to enjoy it all, take your time, let the gear do the work, and then try and get that all-important trophy shot.
Back aching.
And arms. Don't know if it's from all the fish I've had, or it's what's on the end of here.
It was mad because there was a lot of fish showing out there, probably an hour and a half ago.
I know.
And it's like it's gone quiet and now they're on the feed. I can't believe that your left hand rod's gone and my right ain't, especially as my rig's superior to yours.
You can't choose what they pick up. Unfortunately for me, they like my hook baits.
Yeah, I know, but I've stole loads of them. Your fish in the lake's probably got multiple 80-pounders in it. So when you hook one of these big fish and it's heavy and slow, your legs start to wobble, you get nervous, your mouth goes dry, because you know you could have the fish for a lifetime on. At the moment the fish is kited around the reeds, so Dan's having to put a lot of side strain on it to get around the reeds. And I know myself, because I lost a really good fish last night in this swim, there's quite a lot of weed on this right hand side, and I think it pays to just be quite hard on them, keep a good bend in the rod, stop the hook coming out. But you can't win them all. But I reckon Dan's going to win this one. Just needs to stay calm. This fish is crashing its way through the weed and the reeds, trying to look for an escape route, trying to get off the hook. It really does know where it's going. I can tell when that Dan's nervous because he goes quiet, because I do exactly the same. You start playing a big fish and one of the cameramen will ask you how it feels and you just don't reply because all your concentration is on what that carp is doing. I'll go down like that, so there's no shadow.
Boys, don't put them lights on. Not light on the fish.
Let him come. Let him come. Come on then. Stretch out. Yes. Good fish that, mate.
What's that, mate?
Good fish that is. Really big fish. Yes. Well done, mate.
It's a nice common. That's a really nice common.
So looking at that, I'd say it was definitely a big carp. I don't really want to put a weight on it, but I'd say around 50 pounds or over, maybe bigger. And while Dan's zeroing the sling, getting the mat into place, I'm standing there looking after it, making sure it ain't going to jump the net first of all, and that it's safe. Yeah, mate, I said it was over 50, 53.14, man. Well done.
Mate.
Big fish, that biggest one so far.
Yes, mate, thank you.
And mate, it looked bigger than that. I swore that was a 60 in the net. It was a huge fish.
I'll take 53
What a
all
beautiful
day.
carp. Here we go, mate.
Thanks, bud.
God, I swore I'd have said that was 60 all day long, that fish.
That's the biggest one of the week so far, 53.14. Not even halfway through yet. This is testament to the stock here at Sumbar. Absolutely stacked with big fish. Not even halfway through. Cannot wait to see what the rest of the week has installed. What a place.
It's moments like you've just seen That is the reason we come to these places. Your heart's in your mouth. You've got the fish of your dreams on. Massive carp, multiple massive carp. And you fish all week with the hope of catching one of them. And I think Dan's just done that. Dan's just had a 53.12. Was just helping him with that. He's just loading his boat for his next load and my rod's gone. Nice steady take. Don't feel bad, but it's nice. Life don't get much better than this. In Croatia in October, it's cold at home. It's been 26, 27 degrees today and we're in hoodies and t-shirts, shorts. It's beautiful. All right, don't stab her, she's coming up.
I'm not stabbing.
There we go.
I kept it under it.
Cheers, mate, thank you. Whew. Achy arm moment, that.
That's £30.
£30 common. They all scrap hard, don't they? But yeah. Keep playing the numbers game. I'll catch 30s all day long, I love them. Oh, I've got to have a wheel. I was dying for a wheel to weigh in on it. Some people say bait boats are cheating, but I don't believe that, especially when fishing these big European waters. Use every tool at your disposal. You're here to catch the carp, not please anyone but yourself, so do that. I come here, when I'm away, I quite often use a bait boat because I think it's safer than rowing out. And if I can get away with it, I use one. At home, I hardly ever use them because most waters don't allow them. But on these waters, it's a good way of getting a lot of bait in quick. And I tell you what, it beats spomming all day long. But you do what you do at every lake that you need to do to catch them fish.
Fucking hell. Get in there. That's a big fish. That's a big one. Oh my God, that is a huge common carp. This is my landing net. 67.2, 67.6. Oh! Well done, man. Some people ask us why we travel 1,100 miles through endless numbers of countries to go carp fishing. Well, there is your answer. 67.8 pounder Croatian common carp, a new personal best common, and I am blown away. What an incredible fish, what an incredible venue. We're only halfway through the week. I cannot wait to see what happens till we go home on Saturday. Dreams really do come true. I love this great escape. One last look at her. 67.8, new personal best common, and what a lovely, lovely carp.
You may remember me talking about the fog at this place, and now you can see it and you can see why. If you're going to fish it effectively with a bait boat, you really do need the GPS system. You can't see anything out, it's pea soup. Last night, the fish came back as they have every evening. Dan received 3 takes in a row. By the time we'd finished dealing with that massive fish he had, we'd got our heads down for an hour and then my rod started. We're now on a ridiculous amount of fish for this place. I think Dan's had 31 takes, I've had 26 takes. So we've gone and done a few photos for people. The lad up the end had a really big fish yesterday, and when he opened the sack, it was full of maize. And we didn't miss the opportunity to get up there where they cook maize in a big cauldron, and you can buy a bucket of it for about £4. It's ridiculous. So we bought 2 big buckets. We've introduced that now into our mix with crushed boilie, and we really feel that now we've got the perfect mix and it's paying off. We're getting multiple bites. Dan's had a big fish. I'm waiting for my turn, but at the moment, believe me, I'm over the moon catching 30s and 40s non-stop. What gets better than that? Early hours of this morning, I received 3 takes and I was lucky enough to land all 3 of them, a 42 and 2 48s, all consecutively. They're in the retainers here, so we're going to get them out there and have a look at them. Big deep-bodied mirrors in here, tiny little starburst scales on them, massive fins, fight like stink. What more would you want from a carp? Absolutely beautiful. Well, this was the second 48 of the morning. Big old scar down on one end, tells its tale. What a lovely carp. One common, one mirror. Big long barbs, hard fighting. Fantastic creature, just like all the fish in here. I never stop losing my admiration for carp. Absolutely love them. And that's probably why I've been fishing for them for 35 years, because they are wonderful creatures. And it's mad the way they can make you feel when you're absolutely obsessed with them. Well, there's the third 40 in that trio bites this morning. All fall into the Ronnie rig and all absolutely nailed. I'll go through my rigs in a little while, but right now I'm just admiring what a lovely carp this fish is. Big yellow and orange belly on it, perfect mouth, very young fish. God knows how big this thing's going to get in the future. But yeah, what a wonderful morning.
For some reason, the fish seem to have pushed over that side of the lake. They're probably a good sort of 70, 80 yards away from us. We saw them booming out. But first thing this morning, one rattled off. I must have picked off one of the stragglers that weren't over the area. And this is the result. I'm very, very pleased to get a bite. And again, it's one step closer to that whacker.
I've caught quite a few fish this week. I've lost a few fish. I'm going to talk to you about the process that I've gone through, the experimentation. I used a rig that I don't normally use, the German rig when I got here, which is this. Very good rig, works all over the place. But the one thing I didn't like about it was the separation between the bait and the hook. I think that it's not enough when you're fishing for fish with massive mouths like we're doing now. You've got mouths this big and there's no drop on the hook. It works for a lot of people. Unfortunately, it wasn't working for me. So I changed back to my standard blowback rig, which is very simple. It's a size 4 beak point. I put shrink tube on the shank of the hook to stop nuisance fish moving the bait. Shrink tube over the eye of the hook. I've got the rock bottom hook link stripped back about 5mm above it. I put a little hook bait on because that matches the maize and the small boilie items that I'm using. Straight away the fish have been nailed on that. So as a bottom bait rig, I'm fishing exactly the same rig as I would fish in the UK. I fish for big fish in the UK and I'm going to fish the same rig that I do there. The great thing about this rig, plenty of separation between the hook point and the bait, allowing the hook plenty of room to drop and turn. So that was my bottom bait rig, and on one rod that is what I'm fishing. So to conclude, these were the two bottom bait rigs I came with, both fished with wafters. The German rig, 2 or 3 hook pulls on that, lost a really good fish, so I took it off. Went back to my old faithful blowback rig and they've been absolutely nailed. I don't even know why I come off it, but sometimes you just have to experiment. So moving on, the pop-up rig. Reverse combi, it's done me plenty of fish in the past. Nice sharp size 4. Started out with reverse combi. Last time I was here, this rig did me really proud, didn't lose many fish, but this session, for some reason, we experienced 2 hook pulls. And I thought, right, I'm going back to the Ronnie rig. And the reason for that is the Ronnie rig is a much more effective rig. It hooks a lot more fish because it's very difficult for them to deal with. It's got 360 motion, a massive hinge, but I do suffer the odd hook pull with them. Being as I was suffering hook pulls with the old rig, I thought I may as well get more bites, land more fish. I've got a better ratio of getting a bigger fish. I've turned over to the Ronnie rig. I've now had 19 fish, 5 hook pulls, only one of them on this rig. So the Ronnie rig is now my favourite pop-up rig for this session.
What a fantastic start to the day. 94 pounder Croatian common carp, a 52 for myself, a lovely 42 for Dave. We've got the rigs and the baiting application spot on here. The bites just keep coming and it's so enjoyable.
Ain't stopped, has it, mate? Been up quite a few bites through the night, 5 bites, another 3 this morning. Like Dan said, everything's spot on now. We've got them visiting the spots. Just gonna keep going and enjoy catching these beautiful carp.
Well, a pattern seems to be forming. They're moving out of the bay, down to the right in the evening. On the hours of darkness, like clockwork, one of the rods is away. This time, it's the banker spot yet again, and it's absolutely stunning, 48-pound common. That's the first rod out in position for the day. We rested the swim this morning, gone to the supermarket, had a breakfast, and now we're all fully recharged. It's now Thursday, and there's a nice phrase that goes with Thursday, Big Fish Thursday. It's the venue that we're faced with. Every day could be Big Fish Day, but all the anglers around the pond, myself included, you look forward to this day because it's got a little bit of history. People like to think that the biggest fish in the lake may come out on a Thursday, so I'm really readily anticipated for what today and tonight's going to bring. The rods, they're on the positions, 110 metres. All three of my spots are consistently doing bites now, so I'm really pleased with how the week's panned out. Yeah, really looking forward to tonight. It's Big Fish Thursday. Let's get one of you monsters.
This fight is just ridiculous. Every time I gain line on it, it rips yards off again, which is a little bit different to what I have been having. No, my luck, up will pop a 20 pounder. But at least it's made me think it's a whacker anyway. You can't go again. How can you go again? How can you still have energy? That is tight, that clutch. That is a tight clutch. I don't know how it's got the power to go again. I feel like I've hooked a bus here. I've got such a tight clutch, and whatever's on the end is incredibly strong. I mean, I've had 30 pounders do this, you know, but if it is, it's a very, very strong one. Doesn't want to come to the surface. Every time I bring it up, it's gone. Away we go. As you can see, like, I'm pretty tight on that. It's a big boil up, wasn't it?
Yeah. James has been playing this fish for about 17 hours. I watched the sun come up. We've been sunbathing today, we've been down the shops. Just come back, thought it was time to land it, but got a couple more minutes left.
It doesn't want to come up.
Don't want to come up, no, it looks like a really good one. Fighting very, very hard. Yeah.
Surprised if it's not, Jay.
A bit of a massage, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Come on, you got this, got this. Like marlin fishing, I've seen them do that. When they're fishing for the big... He would have probably landed it about 15, 20 minutes ago if he was just standing up. But Carp, you just can't. You can't. It's just
Can't
not,
stand up, Jay.
it's not Carpy enough. If I did that, I'd have to go to the chiropractors. My knees would be in bits. There'd be gravel stuck in them.
This doesn't want to go up to the surface. Ain't a bad one, actually, is it? Go on. Yes, quite a good fish, isn't it?
She's in. She's in.
Yes.
Hello, mate.
Thank you, mate. Ah, finally, what a fight.
That was a very good fight.
Oh, it ain't that big, is it? Quite incredible, really.
Just goes to show.
Just doing what I'm doing, catching loads of small ones. This bionic creature, this was the one that I thought was an absolute monster, but it is a beautiful, beautiful clean fish anyway. Put up a heck of a scrap, and like I said, I was convinced that it was an absolute unit.
Good morning. This morning you find two carp anglers looking tired, doing some shopping after another busy night. How many fish are we on now, Dave?
53.
53 fish, and a couple of nights left. Going to go for one real big one for the boys. Jay and James, their sides find it a little bit harder. There's not so many fish that side of the bar, but we're going to get some food for everyone. We're going to do the challenge today, and the media team better watch out. Now we're in trouble. Jay's joined us.
Bring it on. We don't want them to lose any muscle while they're doing this challenge. So some protein milkshake for the boys.
We'll peel that label off, we'll fill it up, all the added ingredients. They wonder what's in there. And then to the main course. So on some of the challenges me, Dave and Jay have had to endure, the lads have included some chilli, and to combat the chilli you usually have milk. But what we're going to do, these boys are just about to have a Carolina Reaper strawberry protein shake. We're going to combine the two. Good luck. We've got very easy sardines and a bit of your 5 a day vegetables.
Good for you, yeah. Not protein,
not too bad.
I like that.
Just some pate.
Yep, lovely. Just
very easy. Yeah. Everyone likes pate and a bit of toast. Then instead of chutney, like you'd have with pate on toast, fermented crickets.
Oh, nice.
And they really smell. They really, really smell.
We like that.
I asked at the counter for a duck breast, but they didn't have any. So I got Happy Dog, duck puree, extra protein.
Perfect.
So it's not too bad. It's all human grade, nothing can harm anyone.
Only the best for our boys.
Yep. So the camera lads, we'll just go out to do you a club sandwich with a difference, and then you've got a nice Carolina Reaper milkshake to wash it down.
So, sandwiches have been made. It's now time to warm them up. Obviously they're going to be going on the toaster. And look at that bad boy. Oh yeah. Wait, where you go, mate? Get back in there.
Couple more minutes and we call them in.
Couple more minutes and let the fun begin. Payback, boys, payback. So, as you've seen, the whole Great Escape, every single episode, me, Dave and Dan have been endured the worst challenges possible. I mean, from eating fish, from eating guts, from eating eyeballs, from jet skiing in the freezing cold. We've done everything and everything, haven't we?
Pig's willy.
And pig's penis. Exactly. So, the cameramen have been watching us and laughing at us the whole way through. So, bit of payback, boys, eh?
Now it's time for them boys to endure a bit of pain, full role reversal. The last 10 minutes on preparation has been an absolute blast. We have loved it.
It only seems fair that James should join in because it's his first trip.
Exactly, a bit of an initiation, eh?
So there's going to be 4 people, 1 drink, 1 sandwich. So let's get things started. Any thoughts, James?
No.
What's your thoughts, mate?
Absolutely dreading this.
John, what's your thoughts?
Oh, don't know. I've no idea.
Lead cameraman Bernie, what's your thoughts?
No, I don't want to do it.
Unlucky. No one, you're not allowed to open the layers of the sandwich and look inside. That's one stipulation. Shake the drink to wake it. Please take 1/4 each. Do not look inside. Keep the sandwich facing us. Do not look inside. Bernie, well done, son. John, do not look inside.
I'm feeling sick already.
Max, do not look inside. And it's going to be a simple case of 1, 2, 3, eat. No one spill it out, you've got to finish it. You've got John smashing it. What? John is absolutely hammering it.
I think that I think that was too nice, that sandwich.
What's it like, Joe?
Not my.
They can't throw things out of it.
No, you can't. You've got to eat. You've got to eat. Max is doing well. Max is doing well. Max is doing really well. Keep going, boys. The drink washes it away. Keep going.
Oh, that's brilliant.
My eyes! Go on, Max. Keep going, Max.
Go on, Max.
Max, you can pitch these left around.
This is yours. You need to win this, Max.
Keep going, Max. This sort of thing. Max is smashing it.
Welcome to RidgeMonkey.
You've got to chew it, James.
Oh, come on, boys. Come on. This is a race here. Go on, John. You animal.
Go on, John.
John, I'd smash that drink, mate. Otherwise, they've got a chance
Go
of
on,
winning.
James.
Go on, John.
The whole bottle.
Go on, John.
The whole bottle. Go on, boys. Max has found it.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done, boys.
How spicy is that?
One, they can win. But
Oh my god.
Right, gentlemen, sit down, please.
The sandwich consisted of first layer.
it was what?
You had
Dog food.
Yeah, duck food.
But it wasn't just dog food, it was
But
duck flavour.
The second one
Dog food.
was a nice fish
Like a fish tin
I
of
knew
fish
it was.
That was dog food.
filled with crickets.
Fermented crickets.
You'd love a game of cricket.
That's disgusting.
Shaped with Carolina chilies.
John Dunford, well done, mate. King of the ring.
Thank you. Smashed it. You're going to be on the toilet as well.
Well, what an end to the week. 57-12. Had a brilliant week. Everyone's caught plenty of fish. Lake Sumbar again's been really kind to us. What do you reckon, lads?
Absolutely banging week. Great company, loads of fish. Yeah, couldn't ask for better. What do you reckon on your first one, mate?
Yeah, superb. It's been ups and downs. The down was that challenge for me. I was very poorly, but caught plenty of fish. So yeah, brilliant.
All that's left to do is load the vans, 1,100 miles, and we'll be back home with our families.
Anyway, I'm going to slip it back because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, there you go.
He's got some power.
Nice, sharp, size 4. It's in my thumb.